first getting up and running, I was very fortunate to be surrounded by the right people. And if I wanted to find anybody else, I could always just reach out and say, hey, this is what I went through. This is what happened. Here was my script. Here's the in-home, whatever. But I could always have a contact that could like help me develop faster. So how has that helped you excel in such a short window of time here, just being a company that's kind of an open book for help?
Right. And I think, like when I came over, I was very intentional with who I wanted to work with. Like I did some research beforehand, learned that you and Zach, were top dudes. And so I was like, all right, I want to learn from them. But I saw firsthand, because there was people that I started with, there was people like me. I think just coming from sales, I understood like, hey, your leaders, your upline, or whatever you call it, are there to help you. And they're incentivized too. Like they get bonuses for team volume and stuff. So it's like I never felt bad reaching out and asking like, hey, Easton ran into this. Like I think when I was first starting, I was calling you multiple times a day, texting you all the time, trying to get ahead. Whereas I saw other people who I started with, I don't think they were reaching out as much, right? And so it led to their failure. And I think the biggest thing you could do when you're first starting, as long as you're working, like that's the caveat, like you have to be actually doing something. You should be reaching out to your leader, to your manager, pretty much daily. Like I think at this point, I don't think there's many days that we don't have some sort of contact, even if it's just one text. It's like that's how you get ahead. And people are afraid of that. And now that I'm on the other side of that, where I have guys that we've hired, it's like there's guys that reach out to me all the time, and then there's guys that never do. And I'm not going to go chase them. Those guys that never do, sure, I wonder, but I'm not a babysitter. I'm not going to go chase them like, oh, where are you? Like, why weren't you on Zoom? Or, what's going on? I haven't seen any sales in Slack lately. I'm not going to chase them. And I'm just, I set that expectation from the beginning, like, hey, I'll help you as much as you want, right? So come to me. And I think that's, if guys don't do that, they don't take advantage of that help, then they're making a huge mistake.
Well, yeah, and I like that because I think it's humility on both sides. So it is a little bit weird because you're like, hey, I'm an independent contractor. I'm in charge of myself. Like, I can do this. So you're a little bit like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm not capable. So I don't want to really reach out to anyone because it's uncomfortable. And it's the same thing when you get to the other side, where if you bring somebody on board, it is literally your responsibility to help them. You're never above taking an in-home call. You're never above doing a lead schedule plan, a calendar plan. Like that's literally what your job is. If I would have been abandoned as an already horrendous new agent when I was new, dude, there's no way I would have made it here. And to your point about balancing the workload, if you're going out and putting it in and you are truly putting in effort and you're not calling to say how much everything sucks, like that's the easiest people to work with ever. You can't be calling to complain to someone that you're trying to get help from. It's like, hey, this is happening. I need to know how to fix it. And that is what you've done an unbelievable job at since you've been here, whether it is phones, sales, starting to recruit, teaching somebody the skill for the first time, like all that stuff you've been wide open about, like, hey, I need some help or some direction. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know, maybe we should bring Zach in. Let's see, I'm going to put you on the phone with Wetmore or somebody. Like, I just wanted to connect you with the right people because that's what Zach did for me when he kind of hit a wall and he's like, wow, he's literally so bad I can't help him. I need to put him with the next person. Right. And there's some stuff that, like, we're surrounded by so many good people. It would be weird not to connect you with other high-level guys. So you've done a killer job at always reaching out and being very coachable. So it's been awesome to work with you so far.
Awesome. Many years to come.